Good evening, all of you. Right, so I welcome you to this session CMAT 2022 English Usage Errors. So, the focus today will be on error spotting, sentence correction, word usage errors, basically, all the kinds of errors that you can encounter in vocabulary, in grammar. Right, that is what our focus today will be on. So, drop a hi so that I know that you are here, right? And then let's begin. So, you tell me, do you face some problems while attempting, let's say, a sentence correction question, an error spotting question? What is the core of that problem in case you know that? Is it the concept? Is it that you know the concepts but you're not able to apply them? So, what kind of a problem are you facing? Yes. Hello, Anush. Hi, Dhyanesh. Hello, Shubham. Right. So let's begin and let's explore how we can become better at these question types, right? Okay, so the first question category that I have for you is word usage errors. Why I made this the first category? In case you've attended my previous sessions, you would know that in the last year's paper as well as in the previous years, I have encountered a number of word usage errors questions. That is why I made this our very first category. So last year itself, we had words like diffuse, which we covered in one of our previous sessions. We had a word apprise, we had sins. Basically, questions were framed on the usage of these words. What kind of questions? See this. So, a question will be given to you with multiple sentences, right? So, it says in the following questions, because there are going to be multiple questions of this type, which sentence or sentences makes or make the correct usage of the highlighted word? This word here. Okay, so this word is the highlighted word tantamount, right? Let me just I think my pen is not working, but that's okay. You look at this question, tantamount, and tell me what the answer should be. Okay. Yes, Kush, I am happy to know that, but actually, you yourself are the last hope for yourself. Always remember that. Okay. Plus, we have come up with a lot more sessions for CMAT English. Considering that you mentioned, I think you only mentioned this in one of the comments that please come up with more sessions. We need more sessions for English. So, we have come up with a lot more additional sessions in addition to the last lab. Okay. So, don't worry about this. Just that you will also need some practice from your end. Always remember that. Difficulty in the application of rules, even though the rules are known. Yes, Anush, this is a common problem, and that's why I highlighted this. Okay, all right then. Yes, so what do you think the word tantamount means? Let me know. If we don't know the meaning of the given word. All right. So, look at the sentences. See how various sentences use them. Sometimes, let's say in 2 out of 3 sentences, because the word would be used correctly, you will get a sense of what it might mean. Okay, so because of that, you will be able to gauge the meaning. So, in case you do not know the exact meaning, try to guess the meaning through the sentences. Okay, so Krishna has already answered that only one is correct. What do you guys feel? Do we agree? Okay, no place is due now. Your request has been heard, it has been heeded too, right? So, to leave a pet home alone is tantamount to cruelty. Overlooking state norms tantamounts to a crime. His refusal to answer was tantamount to an admission of guilt. Let's say you do not know the meaning of tantamount. By looking at these 3 sentences, of course, one of them, 2 of them could be incorrect. But by reading these 3 sentences, what is the idea that you get? What can the word tantamount mean? Those who know the meaning, please don't answer. Those who don't know, I want a guess from your end. Yes. What can the word tantamount mean? Yes, Nidhi, you can. Okay. See, you just need to do you can just divide, the number of words with the number of days that you're left with, right? So 6 here, 6, 7 here, okay, and 7, let's say 14 days. So divide 800 by 14 and learn those many words. At the end of 3, 4 days, just revise whatever you've learned earlier, and yes, you can finish the balance. Okay. In case you feel that it's a little too much for me, then probably instead of learning all the synonyms and antonyms, you can be selective with words, because see, some words there are going to be the ones that you already know the meaning of. So those you don't need to really pay a lot of attention to. In fact, to make the process easy for you so that it's not very overwhelming, what you can do is just look at that list and strike off all the words that you already know the meanings of. You will realize that you do know the meanings of quite a few words. Okay, and then it'll appear lighter to you. All right. Okay. So similar to, right. Good enough. So I've got my answer similar to. To leave a pet home alone is similar to cruelty. Actually, the word tantamount means equivalent. Okay, so the word actually means equivalent. Now, if you see in all the sentences, it has been used in this sense itself. To leave a pet home alone is equivalent to cruelty, right? You can replace it with an equal to sign just for understanding. Overlooking state norms is equivalent to a crime. His refusal to answer was equivalent to an admission of guilt. Makes sense in all the three sentences? Yes. And therefore, what should be our answer? Yes. What should be our answer? So here I have 5 options. In CMAT you're going to get 4. Don't worry about it. I just wanted to make multiple combinations, and that's why I put 5 options here. So, of course, E is the answer. Come on. Please respond. E is the answer. All the 3 make the correct usage of the highlighted word. So, the word for you was tantamount. Why I chose this word? Because see, it's of a medium level. It's not a very difficult word, and it's not something that you use a lot in your daily life, let's say, right? It's a formal word. So for instance, I found it similar to apprise that was asked last year. What does apprise mean? Apprise. Hmm. Apprise, appraise. These are common confusables, commonly confused words, right? Appraise, I think you would probably have heard of from appraisal. Yes? Performance appraisal of an employee. Performance appraisal. So what happens? Usually various companies at the end of the calendar year or at the end of the financial year, they go for a performance appraisal, right? Wherein there is an evaluation of the employee's performance. So that is appraisal, evaluation. Appraise is, it looks similar but is not similar to appraise, right? To apprise someone of something, apprise is always followed by of. To apprise someone of a situation, of a matter, it means to inform them of that. To apprise someone of something, it could be a matter, it could be a situation, it could be an event, right? So that is to inform, and it is always followed by of. So, common confusables. And this was asked last year itself. The word usage was asked that in which sentence the usage was incorrect. Okay. And I think there was a sentence that used apprise when appraise should have been used. And that was the incorrect sentence. All right. So, I hope this is clear to everybody. Good, good. Inform, correct. Saurav, Mayank, absolutely correct. Let's go to the next question now. So first I have some word usage questions, then error spotting, and then we'll come to sentence correction, right? Team. Okay. So again, you have to tell me in which of the sentences the word team has been correctly used, right? Tell me. Let's see what you say. Hmm. Let's see who is the fastest this time. Yash says C. Mayank D. Shiva also D. 3 is definitely correct. Yes, 3 is definitely correct. So be smart and eliminate. If 3 is definitely correct, then okay, only A is eliminated. Then which other sentence do you find the easiest? Tell me. Which other sentence do you find the easiest? That okay, this is correct or this is incorrect? Okay, B, D. I'm getting a lot of D's. All right. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. See this. Here, agreed that 3 was pretty easy. Isn't 2 incorrect? I can clearly see that. The wedding was themed in Bhojpuri style or themed in Bhojpuri style. I think what they wanted to say was themed. The theme of the wedding. Not themed. So 2 does not really, team does not really fit here. And that's why 2 is eliminated. So see, just by one more sentence, I have been able to narrow down to 2 options. Now I just need to see 4. The film star wore a purple suit teamed with a crimson tie. We often say this, no, that pair this shirt with, let's say, this tie. Yes, this suit with. So pairing is what? You're teaming the two together, right? So this is correct. And that's why the answer should be B, Bangalore, not D, Delhi. All right. So good. Krishna said B. Good. Then apart from him, Anush said B. Good. Both of you are correct. B, how does B get eliminated? B, 3 and 4, they are correct. Okay. Now, why is 1 incorrect? The river teemed with salmon and trout. These are types of fish, right? So the river teemed with salmon and trout. The river was not really pairing with them. Yes, the river was not making a team with them. So what I want to convey is the river was full of. The river was full of. So can you think of a word that is similar to team? Okay, it's a homophone, sounds the same, but means full of or basically in abundance. Yes, any word that is a homophone with team. So that word is T-E-E-M. Okay, T-E-E-M. The river teemed, T-E-E-M-E-D. The river teemed with salmon and trout means that the river was full of salmon and trout. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. Teamed means to be full of, T-E-E-M-E-D. Themed, you understand, comes from theme, and the word team fits only in 3 and 4. Why does it fit in 4? Because here, see, to team someone with someone else, right? So for instance, I teamed my cousin. Let's say we were all playing, my cousins, my friends and I, we were playing a game. So I teamed my cousin with my best friend. So basically what I want to say is I paired them together, right? So similarly, when we wear clothes, okay, we make some combinations and we say, okay, ye combination nahi ja raha hai. So basically what are we doing? We're pairing clothes, we're teaming clothes together that way. So the film star wore a purple suit teamed with a crimson tie. So this purple suit was teamed with a crimson tie. It was paired. Just substitute paired and you'll understand it. Right? So 3 and 4 are correct. I hope this makes sense. All right then. Let's proceed. Good, Abhinav. The river teamed with. Very good. So this shows, see again, how does Abhinav know this? Probably he read this word somewhere, right? In a novel, in a story. So reading helps you a lot, right? And I am talking from a long-term perspective. Of course, now CMAT is near, but then you have MHCT also after that. So the more you read, the more you get the meaning of the words contextually. Okay. And then you are able to use them from your recall, from your memory recall, right? Good. Coming to our next question, a very simple word here, right. Okay, nothing fancy, right. So I want everybody to get this right. Yes, let's attempt. So let's see who answers the most quickly. The correct answer also I need. Okay, Shivangi says A, Mayank says A, Shiva says C, Shivam says C. All right. Okay, okay. Good, good. Others, very happy to see that some of you are saying, in fact, quite a few of you are saying C. That is the answer. Okay. So 3 is also correct. Now, that is why I included this question, because a lot of times students think, how come have they capitalized right? Okay, how come are they using the before it? So some of them just reject this. But here the right has a specific meaning. So good. Those who are saying that C is the answer, that shows that you have that general knowledge also about politics. Okay. So let's discuss this. Last week we learned about the right way, the wrong way. So yes, this fits here. The right way to greet our customers. I think everybody would agree that one is correct. So D and D outrightly eliminated. Get it correct the first time. Get it right the first time. Again has been used in the sense of correct, just like here. So even 2 is fine. So this gets eliminated. So now it all comes down to 3. In politics, the right usually proposes conservative laws and policies. What is this, the right, the left, right wing, left wing? You must have seen these terms in the newspaper also, right? Left wing, right wing. किसके wing की बात कर रहे हैं हम? Whose wing? What does it mean when I say leftist, rightist? What does it mean when we say the right, the left? Let's see the meaning of these terms. Right. So, the origin, it is said that these terms, in the sense of this meaning, they originated in the French Revolution, before the French Revolution actually. So before the French Revolution, in the court, in the, I think Henry something was ruling. I'm not sure. Forget the name. So there was this ruler, there was this monarch with whom a lot of people were irritated. They didn't agree with what he was doing, right? And of course, there were some sycophants, there were some people who agreed with his policies, with what he was doing, right? So a sort of segregation started happening in his court. All the people who supported him, they started sitting on his right, and all the people who opposed him started sitting on his left. From there originated the terms the right, the left. The right believed in the king's authority, believed in hierarchy, believed in order, right? Whereas the left wanted to revolt against the king. So the left believes, just a second, let me just write this and then I'll explain this. I want to put it in the exact words, right? Because words are important, especially when we talk about politics. So the right, its ideology is such that it believes in hierarchy, order, authority. It is conservative in the sense that it doesn't want radical changes, right? It wants to preserve the status quo, or it wants gradual change. Whereas the left believes in, let's say, revolution. So it basically feels that how can changes come in a society? The change will require a revolution of sorts, a rebellion of sorts. So the communist ideology is a leftist ideology, right? And they believe in no classes. They do not believe in hierarchy. They want a classless society. They do not believe in hierarchy. Okay, so they are more for equality. They are more for, let's say, labor rights, the rights of the oppressed. They are more for a classless society, revolution, rebellion, etc. So this is what the left, the right means. Yes, they are political ideologies. Absolutely correct. No, it's not that the opposition will always be left wing. That's not the idea. Okay, a ruling party can be a left wing party, and its opposition can be a right wing party. Okay, and the people who say that okay, we borrow some ideology from here, some from here, they are called centrists. Okay, so leftist, rightist, centrist, center. Okay, we'll call this the center. So centrists, they take some from left, some from right. In fact, your political ideology could also be like this. Okay, you could say I am a centrist to the left, I am a centrist to the right. So it's a whole spectrum. It's a whole spectrum of ideology. So I hope now it is clear to you what is right, what is left. Your homework is you will find out about where do various Indian political parties align themselves. So let's say the UPA, the BJP, the CPIM, Communist Party of India, Marxist. I think it will be clear to you that this is a leftist party, right? I said no that the communist ideology is a leftist ideology. So yes, you have to find that out. Anyway, the answer here, the right is correct. In politics, the right meaning the all the people who hold a right wing ideology or a rightist ideology, the right usually proposes conservative laws and policies. So I'm looking at it as one collective entity, and that's why I'm using the word proposal. Okay, C is the answer here. Now, uh, okay. There's a doubt. Difference between IT apostrophe S and IT S के बाद apostrophe. Okay, let's see that. Just a second. ITS we have, IT apostrophe S we have. Is there something like ITS apostrophe? No, there is nothing like this. Okay, so there are just these two words. Now, this its. So, for instance, if I'm talking about my car's brakes, so I will say its brakes. If I don't want to say the cars again and again, its brakes. So, this it stands for the cars. This is a possessive pronoun. It indicates possession that okay, the brakes belong to the car, right? So, this is a possessive pronoun. This is simply a contraction. It's a sort of a short form for it is. Okay, so when I say it apostrophe s, it simply means it is. So if I say it's cold today, that means it is cold. Remember, I cannot put an apostrophe here. Okay, otherwise it will become it is breaks. Right? So I hope this is clear to you. ITS and IT apostrophe s. The difference between the two. So yes, this question, I think it has been asked in CMAT in the form of a fill in the blank. Okay, so good that you asked this. Now, coming to our last word usage question for the day. The word is bar. Again, a very common word. So let's see what the answer should be. Second doubt was, is it correct to use active voice twice in the same sentence? That's what you mean. Yes, it's absolutely fine. I'll give you some examples. Let's attempt this question, then I'll give you some examples. Aditya has already answered that 3 and 4 are correct. What do you say? Others? B, E, all right. Okay. E, all are correct. B, okay. There's a tie between B and E. Let's see who breaks it. Okay, Shivam has broken it. B has 3 votes. Yes, others. Okay, again a tie. Others? E. Okay, we've got A also. So mostly B and E, yes. And there is one A that I've got, one B. Acha, okay, B already I had. All right. Okay. So which one is correct? Because of his age, he was barred. See, bar as a noun It means, okay, it could be a place where liquor is sold, right? That definition everybody knows of. It also means the authority that actually sanctions the degree of lawyers, right? The bar. That is called the bar, that authority, right? So we say that you have to clear the bar, you have to take the bar to become a lawyer, right? It's a common term that is particularly used in the US. So these are the two meanings of bar as a noun. Now, bar can also be used as a verb. To bar someone is to prohibit someone. To prohibit someone or something from a particular place, from doing something. That is the meaning of the word as a verb. And the past tense of this bar, this verb, is barred, prohibited. Prohibited. So, because of his age, he was prohibited from entering the theater. He was prohibited. 3 is absolutely fine. Okay. Now, let's look at 4. The bar, again the authority, barred, prohibited. This is a very interesting sentence. All bards. What does this bard mean? Bard. Shakespeare was called the Bard of Avon. So, what is bard? It means a poet, right? So, the bar council prohibited all poets, right? So, this is also correct. The bar council prohibited all poets. 3 and 4 are absolutely correct. Okay. So, this is the answer. No. Now, why is 1 incorrect? Okay. So, why is 2 incorrect? Let's have a look. Shakespeare is sometimes referred to as a poet, as a bard. Actually, a poet of great excellence is called a bard. You would not call just about any poet a bard, right? A poet of great eminence, great excellence is called a bard. He barred his soul to the preacher. He prohibited his soul to the preacher. No, he actually revealed something about himself. He bared his soul. He bared his soul. Remember in the last class we talked about this term to lay bare. Okay. And I told you to lay something bare. It means to actually reveal, to expose. So he bared his soul to the teacher. That is the word that I'm looking for. So look at so many common confusables here. The bar, then the verb bar, then bards, right? And bared, right? Or bare. So these were the words around which this question was framed. So, Hitarth, it's not essential that this is going to happen, right? But yes, the questions that I saw from your previous years did have this pattern, and that's why I picked up questions of this pattern. Okay. So, B is the answer. So, I hope these questions are clear to you. We have learned 4 words: tantamount, team, and its homophone TEEM, team, right? Then we've learned the multiple meanings of RIGHT, right? I forgot to discuss this sentence with you. What should come here? The dash of afternoon tea is described in many of Enid Blyton's books. What should come here in this question, in the sentence? Yes. What should I write here? Let's see what you say. Abhinav, it's not different. D bar and bar, they are actually synonyms. So, I am looking for a homophone here. The rite, the ritual, rites and rituals, right? The rite of afternoon tea, the ritual of afternoon tea is described in many of Enid Blyton's books. Okay, so that is what I'm looking for here. Again, this was a homophone, right? Right. Okay. All right, then now we can safely proceed. I hope you've understood these words. Now, Yes, if you've been finding value in the session, then please do press the like button. Okay. If you have any queries later on, you can always comment them. And anyway, we'll be meeting very regularly now. Tomorrow also, I'll see you at 7 p.m. over YouTube, right? It's the part of the last lab. So again, you're meeting me tomorrow. So we'll be meeting now almost every day except Sundays and Mondays, right? And if you have any queries, you can always ask me in the chat box. So yes, there was a question that was raised. Can I use active voice twice in a sentence? Absolutely, you can. So for instance, this could be any sort of a sentence. For instance, she ran to her daughter. Okay, and hugged her. A very simple sentence. Okay, a very simple sentence. Yes. So here you must be wondering, where has it been used twice? See, what is active voice? What is voice in fact? Voice is nothing but a property of a verb. Voice is a property of a verb. So in any sentence, it is the verb that changes its voice. Right? When is the verb said to be in the active voice? When the doer of that verb is the subject. The verb is in the active voice when the doer of that verb is the subject. So who is the doer of this verb? She. The doer of this verb is the subject. Who is the doer of this verb? She only, right? She ran to her daughter and hugged her. So, because for both of these verbs, the doer is the subject, both these verbs are in the active voice. So, see, I have used active voice twice in this sentence. Okay. So, in fact, once you start using the active voice, you should continue using the active voice unless you have a very strong reason to change the voice, unless the passive voice is justified. Because if you do it otherwise, when there is no requirement, that leads to a voice inconsistency. It's an example of bad grammar. Okay. I hope this makes sense. So even in the simplest of sentences, we do use the active voice multiple times, right? No, it's not a small session. We are just done with 4 questions. Okay. All right. Okay. Some of you started answering this question. D, A. All right. Yes. Others. D or A? What should it be? Okay. So I've got just one D. No error. Good. Those who are saying A. A is the answer indeed. Okay. So here, okay, I'll address this issue. Just give me a second. Let me just explain this question. This I included because I wanted to tell you that you should be well versed with tenses. Why? Because a lot of your error spotting and sentence correction questions can be framed around tenses, even your fill in the blank questions. So you need to have this clear idea of where which tense is used. The moment we mention a time point in 1988, then we should not use the perfect tense. We should use the simple past. I got my MSc degree in 1988. Okay, so simple past. If let's say this time point were not mentioned, so for instance, if I just wanted to tell you that I am a postgraduate, so then I would tell you I have done my master's. Okay, I have done my master's. That's what I want to convey. So here the idea that is more important for me to convey to you is, okay, I have finished it. I have done it. Here on the other hand, I am telling you when I did it. So the whole thing becomes a point of time. The whole thing becomes a point. And for this point, the tense that I need is the simple tense. Past simple. All right. Okay. Now there's an interesting question that has been asked, that what will be the passive voice of this sentence? See, not all sentences can have a passive voice. Passive voice exists only for those verbs that have an object after them, which means those verbs that are transitive in nature, that have been used transitively in a sentence. That means they have an object. Now, if I question, she ran what? What is the object of a verb? That, okay, when you ask the question what or whom after the verb, you get an answer. For instance, if I say, I threw a pen. I threw a pen. So you ask the question, you threw what? And you get an answer, a pen. So here, when I say she ran what? Are you getting an answer? You're not. So this cannot be translated to passive voice. Okay. However, if let's say this were a separate sentence, if this were a separate sentence, for instance, Ria hugged her daughter. If this were a separate sentence, Ria hugged her daughter, then yes, we can now convert it to passive voice. Her daughter was hugged by Ria. Her daughter was hugged by Ria. And how am I able to do this? Because when you ask the question, hugged whom? When you ask the question, hugged whom? You get an answer, her daughter. So we do have an object of the verb here. Okay, the object of the verb answers the question what or whom. Always remember that when asked after a verb. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Will it be easy or difficult, Mihir? I can't predict that. It can come. Okay, in one or two papers, I have seen spelling correction questions, but they have been easy. They have been doable. Okay, so I can't predict that whether this year also it will be easy or difficult. So yes, this is an error spotting question based on tenses. I hope now it is clear to you the logic behind it. Let's see another error spotting question. Yes. We are four brothers and sisters living in this house, but neither of us is satisfied with it. Okay. Okay. Aditya and Gaurav say B. What do the others say? Okay, Krishna also says B. Saurav says B. Okay, okay, okay. So let's combine what Gaurav and Saurabh are saying and we'll get our correct answer. You're right, B has an error. Neither is used when there are just two parties, two people, two things. So here there are four brothers and sisters, so we can't use neither. It has to be none, right? And what did I tell you? None. This is a pronoun that can be singular also, that can be plural also, depending on the context. So what is the context? Us, plural. So if I have used us here, this cannot be is. This has to be are. Okay. For your knowledge, you can remember this acronym. So there are some pronouns. I call them Sanam pronouns, right? Some, all, none, any, more or most. Okay, these pronouns can be singular also, can be plural also, depending on the context. What is the context? What comes after this of? So if what comes after this of is plural, then I'll say are. If it were singular, then I'll say is. Okay, I hope this makes sense to you. With what? Shubham, with the house. We are four brothers and sisters living in this house, but none of us are satisfied with it, with the house. Okay, or it could also be with the fact of living in this house. Maybe they are just very irritated with each other, right? So B has a clear error, and that is why that is the answer. I hope it is clear to you. This is a subject verb agreement question essentially. Right, so if you know the rules of subject verb agreement, you would not face a problem in this question. Okay, this question now, let's see. Easy question. Please explain are. Okay. So Saurabh has this question that why am I saying none of us are? Okay. Now I understand your confusion. Probably it is stemming from the fact that when I say none, none means nil. It means zero. So some students say, how can zero be plural? How can you write are here? First of all, here you have to look at it from the perspective that none out of how many. Okay. So when, for instance, if let's say you went to buy mangoes, but you returned empty handed. So your mom asked you that why didn't you buy any mangoes? So your answer, you tell me, what would you say? Why didn't you buy any mangoes? That's her question. Okay. Why no mangoes? Just writing it in short. So what will you say? None was ripe or none were ripe? Her question was about multiple mangoes, isn't it? So what will you say? None were ripe. So in language, when we look at the context for these sanam pronouns, if the context is plural, then we use the plural verb. So here none of us, many people, four people out here. So none of us are happy with it. All right. I hope this makes sense. Okay. In the meanwhile, you've answered this question itself. Okay. Good. Good. So since we are friends, good, good. Okay, Saurabh, Shiba, absolutely correct. Now, this question, since we are friends, there should be no secret between you and I. Do I need that I here or do I need me here? So this is a pronoun question. It's testing your pronoun ka concept, right? So you were saying that you know the concepts, but then you struggle with these questions. That's because probably you're not reading them in an alert manner. So when you read them, notice each and every word. You can't speed read your way through grammar. Unlike RCs, they do require a focus on each and every word. So since we are friends, okay, till here fine. There should be no secret. Although a comma is required here, we look at punctuation at the very end if we do not find any other error. There should be no secret, okay, no secret, singular, fine, between. Now, between, that means two parties should be mentioned later on. So, you and I. But then, again, recall. Now, even if you do not know the rule behind it, we say between us. I have never seen people saying between we. Yes? Nobody says between we. People say between us. So here, if I'm not using the subjective pronoun, this is the subject pronoun. We is the subject of a sentence. Here, if I'm using the object pronoun, then how can I use I? I is a subject pronoun. It should be you and me. Yes? So that is how you actually arrive at the right answer. Okay? You have to be alert to the various words that you read. Okay, and also it comes with practice. See, the more questions you practice, no, the more observant you will become about these errors. The better actually at spotting these errors. Can we use "assi" here? Of course, you have not been asked to correct the sentence. You've just been asked to spot the error. So actually, you and me is also fine. Us is also fine. Both the groups are correct. Those who are saying you and me and those who are saying us. In fact, us is a less wordy way of expressing it. Okay, between this should stay between us, right? Or there should be no secret between us. It's a less wordy way of expressing it, so I would prefer that personally, right? Here you just need to spot the error, so you have done that. C is the answer. All right, the difference in the usage of me and I, absolutely. See, look at a very simple example. Dash invited Ria. Okay, what will you say, I or me? Dash invited Ria, I or me? Me invited Ria is incorrect. Yes, it sounds incorrect. So you know that it is incorrect. So I invited Ria. Logic, because I need the subject here, the doer of this action. I need the subject here. So I need to use a pronoun that acts as a subject in the sentence. So I is a subject pronoun, also called a subjective pronoun, right? Me, on the other hand, is an object pronoun. See, for instance, if let's say I invited Ria, now next time she held a party, Ria invited. Now what will I say? I or me? Now I will say me. Because now Ria is the doer of the action, I am the receiver, I am the object. So when I need an object in the sentence, I need an object pronoun. Me is an object pronoun. So that's the difference in the usage of I and me. Now a question for you. Dash and my friend, okay, are going to a party. So what will you write? I or me? Good, you've answered the previous two correctly. All of those who have answered. Now look here at this sentence. Dash and my friend are going to a party. So I was expecting this, that you would say me, because in colloquial informal usage, I have seen a lot of people actually saying this. Me and my friend are going. Okay. But that is informal English. In standard English, this is incorrect. Okay. It should not be me and my friend. No, just simply split this sentence. Whenever you get confused, no, whenever there are multiple parties. Okay, just split the sentence. So I am going, my friend is going, right? I just combine the two ideas. My friend is going. I combine the two ideas using and. Would you ever say me, I'm going? No, right? So how can you say me and my friend are going? If you were to say, if you will say I am going here, then you should say I here as well. So I and my friend. In fact, courtesy, etiquettes demand us to say my friend and I. My friend and I. In general, we put the other person first. My friend and I. This is just courtesy etiquette. Are going to a party. This is the perfect sentence. All right. So, see again, you knew the rule, but then when it came to application, why you got confused? Because there were two subjects here. Yes. So, simplify things for yourself. Break it down. So, I broke it down into two sentences and then it became clear to me that, okay, I should come here. Hope this is clear to everybody that sees the answer here. It should be me or it should be us instead of you and me. Right? Okay then. So now let's come to the third topic of for the day, sentence correction. So here you can read the instructions or I can simply tell you a part has been underlined. In such questions, always read the whole thing. Do not just read the part that has been underlined. That's the first mistake that students make. Secondly, when you read this carefully so that you identify any obvious errors that are there. They will help you in elimination. Right? So, two things to take care of when you read this. Then, when you come here, notice the differences. Notice the differences. So, read vertically and you will come across the differences. So, for instance, okay, in this pattern itself, what were the verdict or what was the verdict? What should it be? So, that way, spot the differences and eliminate. That should be your approach to attempting a sentence correction question. Okay, so I think some of you must have started attempting it also. Yes, let's see what you say, what the answer should be. A very simple question. Shivam says C, Tanvi says D, others D, Shubham, Saurabh D again, Saurabh C. All right. So 3 Ds, 2 Cs, 1 B. Okay. 4 Ds I've got. All right. So you are inclined towards D. See this. Let's again simplify it. Although the proceedings went on for 1 year or so, we are not aware of this. Okay. Or we are not aware of something. And then I'm just elaborating what that something is. We are not aware of what. We are just elaborating that. So is this a question or are you stating something? If you say, I am not aware of this, I am not aware of this. Is this a question or are you stating something? This is not a question. So how come is there a question mark in these three? Isn't it? The answer is C. It was a very simple question. Okay. See, I am not aware. I am not aware what the fight was about. What the fight was about. So basically, again, what have I done? I have just elaborated this part. I am not aware of what. I am not aware what the fight was about. So again, you are stating something. You are not questioning anything. Okay, you're not asking anything. Okay, so we are not aware what the verdict of the gentleman of jury was. Okay, so you will not say what was the verdict because that will make it a question. We are not actually putting a question here. What the fight was about, what the decision was. I hope this makes sense. Yes, no, I can give you more examples. If you say what was it, that becomes a question. What it was, that is in continuation with the something that you're stating, with the sentence that you're stating. All right, all right. So, what were the verdicts could be very easily eliminated. Okay, you can't use were for verdict. So, eliminated, right? Again, eliminated. Then we are left with this, and here the difference is that of a full stop and a question mark, and that of the placement of was, right? So, C is my answer here. All right, chalo. Let's go to the next question now. Nobody knows exactly how many languages there are in the world, partly because of the difficulty of distinguishing between a language and the sub-languages or dialects within it. But those who have tried to count typically have found about 5,000. Okay, quite a long sentence. Take your time and tell me the answer. Hmm. Okay. I've got my first response. Saurav says D. Mayank also says D. A. Aditya says A. See, spot the difference. Okay. Two options will be right away eliminated. This question is based on the concept of pronouns again. Okay, now see this. Nobody knows exactly how many languages there are in the world. Okay, partly because of the difficulty of distinguishing between a language and the sub-languages or dialects within it. Between a language, partly because of the difficulty distinguishing between a language and the sub-languages or dialects within it. इस language को ही refer कर रहे हैं ना? We are referring to this language only. So it has to be it. So right away, B and D get eliminated. Let's look at A and C now. The difference is those who have tried to count typically have found. Those who have tried counting it typically find. Counting what? Those who have tried counting what? The number of languages, right? Languages को count करेंगे. Counting languages. So can I use it for languages? Those who have tried counting languages, can I use it for a plural noun? No. Again eliminated. A is our answer. Good. Quite a few of you said A. All of you are correct. Those who said A. All right. So see, if we are alert to the various words used in a sentence, then this is not a difficult question type. Okay. This, I think you will be able to do. You had a similar question in your CMAT previous year papers in the form of error spotting. I have just included in the form of sentence correction. Right. Let's see what you say. Last question for the day. I want your enthusiastic participation. Yes. Okay. Krishna says C. Tanvi says C. All right. A lot of C's I'm getting. Yes. More. More. I want more answers. These are just 6 responses. Okay. A, C. All right. All right. Okay. So, yes, the answer is C. Why is it C? Okay. And why not A? Had I known, I would make you. See, uh, we are talking about a hypothetical scenario here. This person doesn't know. This person is saying, अगर मुझे पता होता, okay. तो इसको past में नहीं पता था that this guy is allergic to chocolate. This person to whom he served this cake is allergic to chocolate. So if this person had known, अगर उसको past में ये चीज पता होती, let's take the past point to be yesterday. So yesterday if this person had known this, then he would have made. If there is a had here, then I need a have in the outcome also. This is the conditional clause. This is the conditional clause. Had I known, this is the outcome clause. So the moment you use had in the conditional clause, you have to use a would have in the outcome clause. Okay, that is why this is the answer. You can't use a plain make. I mean, you can't use it without a have. When do I use without a have? If I knew you were allergic to chocolates, I would make you a vanilla birthday cake. Okay, this you can write. So what is the difference between this sentence and this sentence? If I knew, I would make you a vanilla birthday cake versus had I known. The difference is that this is saying something that is untrue in the present, while this is saying something that is untrue in the past. Here we are talking about a past situation. Let's say yesterday you didn't know it. This all happened yesterday. Whereas here at this very point, I am saying this. अगर मुझे पता होता ना ये, तो फिर मैं vanilla बना देती. Right? So this is something that is untrue in the present. I hope this is clear to you. Yes. So for instance, to give you a simpler example, if I got a leave, if I became the president, I would change this policy. I would change this policy. That means I am trying to tell you currently I am not the president. In the present, I am not the president. अगर मैं बन गई होती तो मैं change कर देती policy. ठीक है? That's the difference between the two sentences. And grammatically speaking, with the simple past, you use the simple past. With the past perfect, when you have a had, you have to use a would have again. That was the error, and that is why A is incorrect. C is our answer. Hope this is clear to everybody, and whatever we have done today, that is clear. You've learned some concepts through these questions. You've also become aware of the types of questions, the way in which questions are put to you, and how you should solve them, right? How to apply these concepts. So this is it from my side for today. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Untrue in present versus untrue in past. Okay, if this is not clear, let me just explain it through another example. let's say, I'm talking about my school days versus let's say I am talking about the present. Now, if in the present, let's assume I'm in college right now. Okay, in the present I'm in college right now. So I am saying if I were the president of the football team, the president of the football team, we would win. We would win. That means एक तो हम जीते नहीं है, हमारी टीम जीती नहीं है, right? And secondly, currently, I am not the president of the football team. I am not the president of the football team. Let's say I am reminiscing about my school days. Some 4 years back, a football match happened in my school. Okay, or my school team participated in that and we badly lost. Now, I wasn't a part of that football team. So I am reminiscing कि उस time ना अगर मैं president होती तो हम पक्का जीत जाते उस time, right? So if I had been the president, if I had been the president of the football team, तो ये past में untrue था ना, मैं नहीं थी तब. इफ आई उस टाइम अगर मैं होती ना फुटबॉल टीम की प्रेसिडेंट तो हम पक्का जीत जाते. वी वुड हैव वन. दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन untrue in the past and untrue in the present, right? So Gaurav, currently CMAT sessions are going on, so till CMAT happens we'll continue with those. However, shortly, from in fact 2nd April itself, we are starting with an MHCET series on the BYJU'S exam prep app. Okay, so you can join me there. When can you join me? Every Saturday. So throughout April, we'll have MHCET sessions only on the app. Every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. The YouTube schedule is yet to be finalized. Of course, we'll have MHCET sessions over YouTube as well. I know of this right now. Okay. So yes, for CET, this is the schedule. For CMAT, I'll see you tomorrow itself at 7 p.m. Okay, so I hope you like the session and you got some value from it. That's the whole goal, right? Welcome all of you. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. And yes, this is our ongoing program. This is our ongoing batch. I'm sure by now all of you are aware of this. And yes, if you have any queries that you want us to address later on, then you can join this Telegram group. Okay, this is it from my side. Okay, vocabulary based questions are problematic. Please tell me what I can do in 15 days. So go for your past year papers, CMAT past year papers. Okay, attempt all the vocabulary questions from there. Look at not just the correct answer but also the incorrect ones, the incorrect options. See what those words mean. Okay, go for SNAP past year papers. They are available in the public domain. CET past year papers, again available in the public domain. Just go for the vocabulary questions from there. So I think this alone should add about 200, 300 words to your vocabulary pool. Apart from that, if you are up for it, do go through the Barron's 800 list, right? So if let's say you're not able to complete 800, go for 400, do something, right? That's the goal. All right. Welcome. Thank you, Abhinav. God bless you too. Have a good night, all of you. Bye.